Now, normally I wouldn't recommend people edit code on GitHub, but we do have features on GitHub to let you edit things. And for the sake of simplicity, I want to quickly edit some files and also show you what it would be like if we had another person working on this with me and they made changes to the repository. And you'll get a sense of how I'll pull those down to my machine. So editing on the website, I'm going to go to the README and push this little pencil right here to edit the file. Exercises. A bit about automated testing. All right, so when I scroll down to commit the changes, readme.md, what Git is going to do under the hood is edit the file, add it to staging, and make the commit. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. And now you can see that in individual work, I've got 3 commits here. So how do we get these commits back to our machine? We want to bring the changes, the commits, the objects from GitHub back to my local machine. So push sends them, and the easiest way to get them back is with a command called fetch. What's going to happen is that my machine is going to connect to GitHub, look at the master branch, and see what objects are missing, and then transfer those objects. What it's not going to do is update my working area or my repository history. So let's go ahead and try it. Great, counting objects, 3 done, and it compressed them and transferred them. So I downloaded 3 objects from GitHub. So what would you expect git log to show? Would you expect there to be 2 or 3 commits in my git log? There's still only 2, but up on GitHub we had 3 commits, even though I already transferred that data. What's happening here? So when you see that these objects come down and they're unpacked back to my local machine, you know that there's another commit, and that commit has a tree and a blob. So there are the 3 objects that were transferred. What this is telling us is that on my local machine, this commit data exists. However, when I run git log, I don't see it. Let's talk about objects and how Git encodes them. So previously, we had 2 commits, and every commit pointed to a tree, and each tree pointed to a blob, in addition to its previous commit, which has a tree object, which also has a blob. Git transmits the necessary objects. When we push, we send the objects the remote doesn't have, and when we fetch, we receive the objects that we don't have locally. So in this case, after our first push, I edited the README, which created a new blob, and when I made the commit, created a new tree and a new commit object. That's 3 objects, and that new commit object points to commit 2, and commit 2 points to commit 1. So that's the way to parse what Git is telling you when you see output like compressing objects and they're complete. All right, so to sum up working with remotes, we're going to, on the command line, create a repository just like we did, and then create another repository up on github.com. I'm going to ask you to, on github.com, upload your first week's assignments to the individual repository in the GitHub UI. And then I'm going to ask you to go back to the command line, back to the terminal, to bring the commits back down to your local repository.